My name's Stuart Hill and I was in the British Army for 18 years. My final tour of service was in Afghanistan in 2009. Whilst commanding B Company 2 Mercian, I was blown up by an IED and suffered a severe traumatic brain injury. My brain impairments put an end to my army career, and I'm still trying to rebuild my life after all these years. My experiences in Afghanistan will never leave me. July 4th, 2009. We're crossing the Nadi Ali Canal in the Upper Gereshk Valley. 20 minutes later, my forward right platoon comes into a firefight with 6 enemy. Thankfully, no casualties. Soon after, I hear an explosion behind me. I listen in on the radio to hear that an Afghan soldier had just been blown up and killed from an improvised explosive device and injured several others. For the next few hours, there's always some element of my company in a fight of some description, but thankfully, no casualties. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when suddenly there's an eruption of machine gun fire and several loud explosions over to my left. I look over there and there's this tree line, and then this smoke starts to billow up quickly. It's black and then it turns grey. Almost immediately, I hear over the radio in this earpiece from 27-year-old Lieutenant Guy Disney. 0 Alpha, 20 Alpha, contact, casualties, I need a heli, I think I've lost my leg, over. And I could hear the screams of my soldiers in the background. Guy commanded 3 light armoured vehicles that were attached to my company. We were all on foot. And his vehicle had been at the receiving end of a heavy Taliban ambush where they'd fired machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. Now, a rocket-propelled grenade sends this piece of copper which turns into a molten slug pellet, about that long and about 2 inches thick, and it travels through the air at 200 miles a second. One of these penetrated Guy's vehicle, went straight through his right leg, taking it off below the knee, and then embedded itself in the chest of 19-year-old Private Robbie Laws, killing him instantly. My thoughts, my actions were now on the safe and quick extraction of these casualties. About 20 minutes later, I hear the distinct waka 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 sound of the Chinook helicopter, and it's coming over to my right, being accompanied by 2 Apache helicopters. I call to my Sergeant Major to throw smoke. He throws smoke, and this orange smoke starts to billow up and then disappears as a Chinook helicopter comes flying around and flattens the grass in ever-increasing circles. The tail ramp is down. There's a gunner at the end, moving the machine gun around, trying to find if there's any enemy. Some medical teams run off. A short while later, I see some stretchers being taken onto the Chinook. The first one is Guy Disney. And I knew it was Guy because I could see the ragged shape of where his right leg used to be. Behind him were some walking wounded, and then finally a stretcher with a body and a sheet over it, carrying Robbie Laws. I remember thinking of the time that in a few hours someone would be knocking on the door of a next of kin. I watched the helicopter fly away to the right. And that's my last memory of Afghanistan. So what happened? Well, I've got about 3.5 weeks of pre- and post-traumatic amnesia. So thankfully, I've got no memory at all. So I've been told what's happened. So I'm now going to talk to my company sergeant major, and we're discussing what we're going to do next. When Lance Corporal Dennis walks by, and he stands an improvised explosive device, which kills him and destroys my tactical headquarters. It knocks my forward air controller away, unconscious, my company sergeant major away, unconscious, my radio signaller away, unconscious. The shockwave from the bomb, travelling at 1,000 miles a second, smashes through both of my ears, perforating the eardrums. Shrapnel from the blast, travelling at 2,000 miles a second, smashes through the back of my skull, through my cerebellum, with 2 pieces stopping a millimetre away from my brain stem. The force of the blast smashed my brain forward into the confines of my skull. And I was found many metres away, splayed on the floor, with a radio antenna embedded in the back of my skull. They call this the little card with the big heart. But what is it? This is membership to the National Veterans Lottery. When you sign up, you are helping fund life-saving projects for British veterans in need. Have you got your card yet?